Have you ever wondered how life can be magical when you don't force it? Imagine a river. It flows effortlessly through a lush valley, meandering around rocks and boulders with grace and ease. It does not force its way, it does not struggle, it simply flows. It embraces the path that lies ahead of it, adapting and evolving with the landscape. It is a testament to the beauty of nature, an embodiment of serenity and tranquility. Now picture a bird, soaring through the sky, riding the currents of the wind without a care in the world. It does not fight against the wind, it does not resist the forces around it. Instead, it uses them to its advantage, to lift itself higher and journey further. It is the epitome of freedom, a symbol of life lived in harmony with the world around it. The river and the bird, they are not just elements of nature, they are metaphors, representations of how life can be when we allow it to unfold naturally, without force. They teach us the art of surrender, of letting go of resistance and embracing the flow. They show us that life does not have to be a struggle, a constant battle against the currents. It can be a journey of grace and ease, a dance with the rhythms of the universe. Just as the river flows and the bird soars, so too can our lives unfold. When we stop trying to control every aspect, when we stop resisting the natural flow of things, we open ourselves up to the magic of life. We become like the river, adaptable and resilient, flowing around obstacles with grace. We become like the bird, free and unburdened, soaring on the currents of life. As we delve deeper into this concept, let's keep in mind the image of the river flowing and the bird soaring. Let's explore how we can apply these lessons to our own lives, how we can embrace the magic of life unfolding. Imagine a river, flowing effortlessly through a lush valley, meandering around obstacles with grace and ease. It begins as a mere trickle, a small stream born from a distant mountain spring. The stream dances down the mountainside, merging with others of its kind, growing stronger, bolder, becoming a river. This river, it's not just a body of water, it's a storyteller, a life carrier, a path maker. It carves its way through the landscape, sometimes gently, sometimes with force, but always moving forward. It faces obstacles, boulders, hills, and embankments, yet it doesn't stop. It adapts, it finds a way around, over, or through. Each obstacle faced, each path forged, making it more resilient, shaping its character, much like the journey we all embark upon in life. At times, the river's path may seem chaotic, twisting and turning in unexpected ways, but look closer, and you'll see a pattern, a rhythm to its flow. It's in these twists and turns that the river finds its way, charting a course that's uniquely its own. It doesn't fight against the landscape, doesn't try to force its way. It simply flows, accepting the path that lies before it, embracing the journey. Isn't this a lesson for us all? How many times do we resist the flow of life, battling against obstacles, trying to force a path that isn't meant for us? What if instead, we took a leaf out of the river's book? What if we embraced the journey, faced the obstacles with grace, and allowed life to unfold naturally, organically? Just like the river, life too can flow effortlessly if we allow it. Picture a bird, soaring through the sky, riding the currents of the wind without a care in the world. Elegantly it glides, wings outstretched, harnessing the invisible forces of the air to propel itself forward. It's a sight of pure freedom, an embodiment of serenity. It doesn't struggle against the wind, but rather uses it, becomes one with it. The bird doesn't force its path, it dances with the elements, becoming a part of the grand ballet of nature. The bird doesn't fly against the wind, but with it. It doesn't strive to control the air currents, but instead, it embraces them, uses them to its advantage. It's an exquisite example of the art of going with the flow, a lesson in harnessing the power of circumstances, rather than fighting against them. Consider the bird's flight, and how it mirrors our journey through life. Just as the bird doesn't exert unnecessary force to glide through the sky, we too can navigate our lives by leveraging the currents of our circumstances. It's about finding our rhythm, our flow, and letting it guide us. It's about understanding that we don't always need to exert force to move forward. Sometimes we just need to spread our wings and let the wind carry us. In our lives, we often find ourselves fighting against the currents, struggling to control things that are beyond our control. But imagine if, like the bird, we learned to use these forces to our advantage. Imagine if we embraced the winds of change, the gusts of challenges, and the breezes of opportunities, and used them to soar higher. Life, like the bird's flight, can be a joyous journey when we let go and let things unfold naturally. So let's learn from the bird, let's embrace the currents, harness the wind, and soar through the journey of life with grace, ease, and a spirit of freedom. What if we applied this concept to our own lives, letting go of our need to control and allowing life to unfold organically? Imagine the freedom, the lightness of being, the sense of peace that could envelop us. When we look at nature, we see a world that thrives on an innate rhythm, a fluid dance of elements working together in harmony. It doesn't resist, it doesn't force, it simply flows. And in that flow, there's a profound wisdom we can tap into, a wisdom that teaches us to trust the journey, to embrace the unexpected, and to find joy in every moment. Embracing the flow of life doesn't mean we abandon our dreams or goals. Quite the contrary, it means we move towards them with a tranquility of spirit, a calmness of mind, understanding that there's a time for action and a time for patience. It's about knowing when to swim against the current and when to let it carry us. It's about understanding that the river of life is not a straight line, but a meandering stream that takes us through various landscapes, each with its own beauty and lessons. When we allow life to unfold naturally, we open ourselves up to a world of possibilities. We're no longer limited by our rigid expectations or preconceived notions. We become receptive to new experiences, new ideas, new paths that we might not have considered before. We learn to appreciate the journey, not just the destination. There's a certain contentment that comes from this approach, a quiet joy that permeates our everyday existence. The worries and anxieties that once plagued us start to lose their grip. We find ourselves more resilient, more adaptable, more at peace with whatever life throws our way. In the end, life becomes a beautiful journey, much like the river's flow and the bird's flight, when we stop forcing and start flowing. As we come to the end of our exploration, let's reflect on what we've discovered. We've journeyed from the bubbling springs of a river to the vast expanses of the sky, all the while witnessing the effortless grace of nature. We've seen how a river, born in the mountains, flows with an innate sense of direction, winding its way around obstacles, never fighting against them, but fluidly finding its own path. This river doesn't strive or struggle, it simply flows, embodying the essence of effortless existence. We've also soared high with a bird, gliding on the currents of the wind, free and unburdened. This bird doesn't force its flight, it doesn't resist the wind or the pull of gravity. Instead, it uses these forces to its advantage, turning constraints into opportunities for graceful flight. It rises and falls with the wind, embracing the natural ebb and flow of life. These examples from nature serve as beautiful metaphors for our own lives. Like the river, we can learn to navigate around our challenges, not with force or resistance, but with acceptance and adaptability. We can find our own unique path, flowing with the currents of life rather than against them. Similarly, like the bird, we can harness the winds of change to lift us higher, to take us to new heights. We don't need to resist the inevitable ups and downs of life. Instead, we can embrace them, using them to fuel our growth and evolution. So, as we reflect on this journey, let's remember the lessons we've learned. Let's strive to live like the river and the bird, to embrace the flow of life, to ride the winds of change with grace and ease. Because life is not about forcing our way through, it's about allowing things to unfold naturally, about finding our rhythm in the ebb and flow of existence. Life, like the river and the bird, can be a magical journey when you don't force it but let it unfold organically.